back, and he did. He went back and married her. But yeah, he was a gold mine. He was all right. Yeah. Yeah, but I've been in some. You aren't telling me you're going to tell. Well, you just think what you want to think. I don't think what I want to think.
Well, do you have to take pills?
No.
Did you take your pills?
Yes.
I got 12 minutes.
Okay, we're done.
12 minutes more.
It's a rough world out there.
Huh?
And I've known other people the same
Yodel.
thing.
She needs to yodel. Sit up there. We
What?
need to hear some yodel.
I can't yodel. Yeah, I can't yodel. I know I can't. My throat is kind of raw. Something's happened since I'm taking that pills for the throat. It's not the same. I can't even sing the same I used to do. I don't know if I can yodel again or not. Let's see. I'll try, and I don't think I can. You have to have a clear voice and clear children. I'm not clear. I'm hoarse. See, I'm hoarse right now.
Well, you pause for a second, and I have questions for the guys over here. So, Janice, what is your fondest memory of your mother? Growing up, or whatever. Tell us the fondest memories.
In first grade, I knew I was going to flunk first grade. As a first grader, I knew I was going to flunk first grade. And I'd get off the school bus, and there would be a white chair, straight back chair beside the refrigerator. Mom would be starting to make supper. I'd come in and, wash hands, go to the bathroom. Mom would sit me down on that white chair, and we would have school for another hour while she was making supper. And she's the one that helped me understand math, sounding out words. But in first grade, they had me sitting with 3 other retarded girls at the back of the class. But I never went to kindergarten either, because we were so busy on the farm. So I got to school, I didn't know my ABCs, I didn't know how to count. I knew how to take care of hogs. And I guess that was before special ed, before they knew what to do with the retarded girls. So the retarded girls, they had 3 desks and then mine. We all sat facing each other. And by the afternoon, these retarded girls were always so quiet. They never asked to go to the bathroom. And by the afternoon, our desks had all the flies around them. I would be swooshing flies away because they would already have went in their pants.
Oh my goodness.
The teacher never once got them up and went to the bathroom. And we just sat back there, and the whole rest of the class learned. And
wow. Wow.
But our first grade teacher, I knew as a first grader that she didn't do right because she was always out in the hallway talking to another teacher. And when I went back for second grade, sure enough I passed. When I went back for second grade, I made sure about if she was still there, and my first grade teacher wasn't there anymore. And I thought as a second grader, I knew it. She wasn't doing her job.
Yeah, how about that?
Well, what they did, they took the sounding just as the kids were ready to start school. They said, we aren't going to sound words anymore. You don't need that. Well, George would write a letter, and every other word, I wouldn't even know what it meant. He wrote the government a letter one time. They told him to put on his good clothes, and they'd meet him in Indianapolis. I said, go down there and clean the hog barns, and then go down there and wear your clothes and meet him. But anyway, they done away with the sounding words. Well, he was always testing me. I'd read that, what's this mean? Well, sound it out. Well, I did, and then I could pronounce it. And I said, that's the worst thing they could do to these kids, not sounding their words out.
Oh, no phonetics.
So when they started, I said, you guys got to learn to sound them. So, and then all through school, Julie Hand, she still says it. Your kids were the smartest kids. I said, well, they learned to sound their words out.
So I went to school all day for a good hour. I was sitting on the chair, not doing anything else, but Mom giving me questions. I'd say the wrong answer. I wouldn't know which one was the right one. And she'd say, no, don't you know, blah, 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 blah. And now sound that out. And that's how I learned. And so
Wow.
we'd eat supper, we'd go to bed,
Yeah.
I'd go to school the rest of the day. The next day, sitting at the back of the class with the retarded girls. I didn't know what was going on. Come home, have school for an hour, eat supper, go to
Mhm.
bed, go to school.
Wow.
But I know that if I
Wow.
can sound a word out and can pronounce it, I get an
Yeah,
idea of what
yeah,
it means.
yeah.
And for
And-
them to take that out of the school, that was a left hand,
Yeah.
they took out a big thing.
Yeah. That's
And so
incredible.
by the time, so English was the easier, the phonetics was the easiest
Sure.
to pick up. Math,
Uh-huh.
I was still clueless.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't until I got to 3rd or 4th grade that the teacher stopped asking the whole class math questions as a group, and everybody would yell out. I'd always yell out the wrong answer, so eventually I just didn't answer anything.
Mm.
You know, you yell out the wrong answer over and over again, and everybody looks at you.
Mhm.
You just sit back.
You guys,
Mhm.
go on. I'll just be quiet back here.
And so 3rd or 4th grade, Florence Townsend
Oh.
taught 4th grade.
Yeah.
That was the first time that we got a paper with math problems. I could write down the answers, and then she sat up at the front of the class, and as we finished with our paper, we brought it up to her. She graded it right then and asked you, why did you put this answer? And you could talk to her in private and tell her, and she could tell you in private. You go back to your desk, you fix it, and you take it back up to her, and then she would grade it for real.
Mhm.
Now
Mhm.
Florence Townsend was Grandma Townsend's sister,
Oh.
and she had taught George all through grade school.
Mm.
So when Janice came up, I wanted you to go and ask the school if she couldn't have Aunt Florence. You might get her and you might not, but she got her. And Aunt Florence was teaching George, and then she was teaching George's child.
Oh my goodness.
So then she had Aunt Florence, and Aunt
taught you
Florence
too?
was a wonderful woman. She was
Wow.
warm. She was
Mm.
There was a certain way of doing things.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
She was good.
She required order in her classroom, but that was my first time I wasn't. My palms and my hands would sweat when they talked about doing math. My stomach would start
Mm.
churning. I would even start sweating
Mm.
and just sitting there, just like, just be quiet, just be quiet. I don't know how in the world they got that. Just
Yeah.
be quiet.
Yeah.
And it'll pass, and then we'll start alphabet or something.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And Dad, he loved math.
Yeah, he was good at math. And
He would come home and he would say,
Marcella
I don't know
would-
why you have
Marcella
such a
would
problem
come
with
in.
math. I'd be like, I'm petrified.
Mar-
I am petrified.
Marcella would come in and ask George how to spell a word. He said, well, now, Marcella, you spell it. Well, if I can't spell it, how do I know how to spell it?
Mm-hmm.
He really put her through the 3rd degree.
And
He said, there's a dictionary. Go look it up. Well, if I can't spell it, how can I look
Yeah.
it up? They go around and around.
Yeah.
it was only when Mom would start counting on her
Yeah.
fingers that I even thought about counting on my fingers.
Yeah.
But you know what? Looking in hindsight, both Ryan and Kyle, let me see. I think Ryan had to have some speech therapy, but not for very long. No, I don't think that's right. Because he talked.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle had to have speech therapy. And my uncle, Jerry, wasn't he an uncle?
Mm.
He had to have speech therapy.
Mm.
Now this is before 1960, so
Mhm.
this was astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
And then along comes Isaiah. He needs speech therapy too. Well, we'd already been through it with Kyle, so we're like, get him to a speech therapist.
And you realize this at what, like 3 years old?
Two,
3?
three.
Okay.
And it wasn't until we moved one time that I was thumbing through books, throw away, what to move with us, that it dawned on me, the exact same sounds that Kyle worked on were the exact same sounds in Isaiah's book that he worked on in speech therapy.
Oh my.
And then, so we moved to Jacksonville when Isaiah was 4. And by that time we realized he needed speech therapy, but we were getting ready to leave Belgium, and so it didn't happen over there. So it was only through Child Find. We got him hooked up with a K4 class at our church. And they had just brochures, Child Find, and they recommended that I take him for speech therapy. I said, well, we already knew he had a problem, his brother had a problem, so yeah, we are wanting to do something. But we were just moving, and so now's our chance to do. They're like, well, you just call into this Child Find, you make an appointment, and then they test, and it doesn't cost anything. I was like, okay. But you have to go clear across Jacksonville to take him. Well, we were new there, but I found our way, and we took him to get tested. I said, we're here to get his speech therapy tested for speech therapy. And they said, do you want the whole battery of tests? And I was like, what do you mean? They said, like the mental test too? And I'm like, oh, there's nothing else wrong with him. But I said, you don't know what I had to go through to drive clear across Jacksonville. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I don't know how to get home. So whatever test you got to give, as long as it's for free, go ahead.
Yeah.
Test away.
Yeah.
So they tested him, and I was in the same room with him. And they would